Stampers, Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. I have some super fun and bright cards to share with you today and a ton of tips, especially a bunch of big shot tips, which I know some of you have been asking for. We're going to use the stamp set called Stitched All Around and the framelits that go with it, and I'm going to give you a bunch of tips and take a close look at these super fun cards. So let's go ahead and flip the camera down so I can show you the cards up close and share all my tips with you. Make sure to watch to the end so that you don't miss any of them. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the videos I have coming your way. So let's flip the camera down. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of tips for you today, not only with the stamp set and framelits, but also with the big shot and also some ideas about where to come up with color combinations. So first, let's take a peek at these cards. I am in love with these colors. We've got Gorgeous Grape, Coastal Cabana, and Melon Mambo. Look at how fun they go together. Now, I grabbed the Stitched All Around stamp set and the framelits, and to be honest, this was one that in the catalog I passed right through the first quite a few times I went through the catalog. It did nothing for me, and I think it really was probably the colors. So I'm like, okay, this looks fun, let's play with it, but let's come up with some new colors. Well, I started with Coastal Cabana. I love this color, I love that it's back, and I really wanted to build my card using Coastal Cabana. So I grabbed my color coach. Have you guys seen this? This is something that Stampin' Up! Has provided for us. All of the colors, all the Stampin' Up! Colors have a page and 3 different color combinations with them. Now I printed it out and I'll have this available for you. All the details will be down in the description of the video so that you can print it out also. And then I kind of took it a step further and I adhered each one to a piece of cardstock. So when I flip it over, I see all my cardstocks, laminated them, and then put them on this big ring. So this sits right at my stamping table and it's almost like my Bible of stamping. So like I said, I wanted Coastal Cabana. So I flipped through here and I do have these kind of in rainbow order, the same order that I have my stamp pads and cardstock in. So let's find Coastal Cabana. Oh, that's Pool Party. There we go. So I knew I wanted to use Coastal Cabana. So I'm like, what goes with it? Well, here's where I got my color combination. Melon Mambo and Gorgeous Grape. And I thought, perfect summertime, bright, fun colors. Totally different than what these cards look like in the catalog. And also, you know me, I am the quick and easy stamper. The catalog ones looked a little bit too complicated for me. Too much stuff, too much busyness. So I toned them down a little bit and I made these 2 cards. Now, I'm not going to stamp for you because the stamping's simple, but I'm going to talk about each card and the different dies that are part of this because they are quite unique and different. Now they are called Stitch Labels framelits, so they do kind of coordinate. We've had the stitch circles and ovals and squares for a long time, so this is kind of perfect to go along with those. And I started out just to kind of get a feel for all of them. I cut all of them out, and I wanted to just show you what all the different pieces look like. So here is the label. And then here's a circle label, I guess we'll call it. This is what I used to stamp You Are My Sunshine. You are my only sunshine. So on here, I simply stamped it on white cardstock first, and then I used the die, which looks like so, put it right over what I stamped, and cut it out. So that's what it looks like when it's cut out. Oops, there's a dimensional backing. We also have this longer label, which words will fit really nicely in there. I didn't use it this time. Well, I lied. I did. I actually used it as kind of a dimensional piece underneath my circle here. Now, as you look at this, the thank you, there are 2 colors there. You can do this with markers. I've shown that before. But the easiest way to do it was I actually stamped this in Coastal Cabana first. I stamped it again in Melon Mambo on a scrap of Whisper White, and I cut. I don't know if you can see, it's hard to see, you probably didn't notice it at first, but the thank you is just cut out with my scissors, you know, as tight as I could to those letters, and I just glued it right on there. So that's how I got the 2 colors on there. So back to our dies. We've got this one, we've got these 2 fun little pieces, which again, you can put words on these. These will be great as accent pieces on cards. And then there's also a small stitch circle. Now, this one, I actually cut it out, so you can see when I lay it on here that it's not as long as it appears on here. And then I just snipped it in half, and I put half at that end and half at that end. So that's how I was able to stretch it and make it longer. Now I'll have all the details for all of these cards down in the description of the video. So you'll be able to find out everything I use and all the dimensions and stuff. But I really wanted to just focus on showing you all these fun dies. So let's see, I think that was all of those pieces. Then there is this bugger, this big kind of random shaped one that adds stitching. And you can really use it two different ways. One way is to use it with the, to cut. And can you see through there? Maybe if I put that on, you can't really see. There's like little tiny holes here. The other way you can use it, and can you see the difference when they're side by side there? Is this one did not cut those holes all the way through. I actually used the brand new embossing pads, the Big Shot Embossing Mats, I guess it's called, to do this so it wouldn't cut. So let's take a peek at these. I've had a lot of people ask about them, and I will do more videos on these. This is just kind of a quick introduction. But when you use these embossing pads, and they're just silicone rubber ones. There's a thicker one and a thinner one. So you're gonna get different results. Some of the dies definitely need the thicker, some need the thinner. And we'll get into that in some other videos, but otherwise you can just experiment. But when I use this die on the embossing only one, I started out by just taking my, let's see, Big Shot platform, okay? And it does come with instructions, and it will tell you how to build your sandwich, I guess you call it. So you start with a Big Shot platform, and then I put down my my white one. I don't know what this is called. It goes with the embossing mats. So we put down with the embossing mat, then we put our silicone mat, then we put our piece of cardstock and our die, and then a plate. And that's how it runs through there. Now, if you use the thicker, you know what, I used the thicker one there. I think this should be the thinner one. So let's stick the thinner one there. Let me grab a piece of cardstock I haven't run through yet. We'll just use this scrap here of the gorgeous grape, and we're gonna put that on there and then put a plate on top of it, and now it's ready to run through the Big Shot. So let me go do that. Okay, so again, as kind of a review, we have our clear plate at the top, then we have our die with our cardstock. We take that off, and you'll be able to see it's kind of raised up on this end, but it did not cut any of the holes. It's simply embossed. And then I had my thinner silicone mat, the whatever they call it, the white embossing mat that comes with the silicone mats, and then our platform. So that's how I built the sandwich to just emboss. Now, if we want to cut, let's use a scrap here. This is Granny Apple Green, it looks like. Now for cutting, because it's very fine detailed, I like to use the precision mat. And when you use the precision cutting mat and the Big Shot platform, you need to either also use the thin die adapter, which does come with this, or it also will work with the magnetic platform, because this one's a little bit thicker, so this kind of includes that thin die adapter in with it. Be a little careful of your fingers, because since this is magnetic and this is magnetic, it does kind of go down, snaps together with those magnets. But this cutting pad, when you're using a detailed die, which this is very detailed, you're going to want to use that instead of a clear the clear ones, because it will cut through better. Very important, especially with these dies, this one and these, because of all the detail in there. It'll give you a much cleaner cut, and everything will kind of pop out and fall out much easier. So we would do that, and then the clear plate on top, and that's what's going to give us the little punched out holes instead of just the embossing. So I hope that makes sense and that you can see the difference. Like I said, we will talk about these embossing mats a lot more in the future, but wanted to give you a little introduction to them. You can see on this scrap, there was also some stitching dies, little X's for like cross stitch look, and then a stitching line here. These are just lines. And with these two, because you can see through them, there's actually holes in them. This is where I use that precision cutting mat and actually cut it or precision cutting plate. And then this was the embossing mat like I showed you, so it's just embossing down in there. So let's go back to these cards. With this one, our gorgeous grape here, you can see hopefully you can see the detail. This I cut using that big die. So there's little holes punched in there, and then we just cut out several of the different labels. I love the colors and I love all the fun detail. And then when I opened this one up, I actually grabbed one of my favorite new stamp sets, Friendly Conversation. I thought the words were perfect to stamp on the inside there in the Coastal Cabana for the You're My Only Sunshine. And on this one, we talked about this one a little bit. I did use the quilting embossing folder. I think it's just called Top Stitch or Quilting or something like that. Again, it'll be in the list of supplies, but that coordinates with it really well also. And then in the inside, that's where I cut out one of those labels again. This is kind of a different style for me. Usually I put a piece of white in there, but I thought that label with that white, it just really popped my words on the inside. I think these cards they're fun, they're trendy, they're bright. Here, maybe you can see it on the back too. See how it's just embossed? Okay, so I didn't want holes cut through that one because I was just doing it on the layer. So here's our words. I just kind of stacked 3 of the different pieces that come in this Framelit set. And then on all of them, this is actually Pool Party, which I know we're not using Pool Party, but it's the new Pool Party Baker's Twine that has silver entwined into it. But I thought it matched and looked really good with these cards as well. So lots of information, but I mainly wanted to just show you the stitched all around stamp set bundle because I think in the catalog it doesn't do justice. It's fun, it's bright, you can do these in any colors, and my cards were quick and easy. I think when I looked at the catalog, they didn't look so quick and easy to me. And then once again, if you have not already downloaded the Color Coach, make sure you check the information in the video description how to get this as well. It's a valuable tool that I know you're gonna love to use. Like I said, tons of information. I love these dies. I really didn't think I would, but I did. They're just kind of fun. And these cards really were quick and easy. You're just cutting out a bunch of pieces and stacking them. Like I actually cut out all the pieces first just out of that, I think it was Granny Apple Green I was showing you. And I did that just so I could play with which ones do I want? How do I want to stack them? How do I want to put them together? So if you like these products, make sure you check out my information and place your Stampin' Up! Order from me. I would love to be your demonstrator. If you need a Stampin' Up! Catalog, let me know. I would love to send you one. And make sure you check out my rewards programs. I love to send you free products when you choose me as your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Stamps in the Mail goes out monthly where you get free card kits as well as free tutorials. I got so much going on. Make sure you check it out. Any questions, let me know. I am here to help you. I've been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for 23 years, and I love to show you quick and easy cards. So until the next video, have a stamp happy day.